So for this new book, also Michiko Kakutani of the New York Times, who hates everybody, gave Gary a great review. Although in her review she said that it avoids the pretensions and grandiosity of Absurdistan, which I think was an insult, but that's still good.
Wow, I'm short. Just realized that. Thanks. It's great to be here. This is a really nice town. Wow, I've never been here. How do you pronounce it? La Jolla? It's not La Jolla, right? No. Correct. Good. Well, thank you. You learn something new every day. No, this is really nice. This has been the end. This is the final day of my 10-day swing through the West Coast. And from Seattle to Portland, Oregon, to the San Francisco, LA, now here. And I'm really, really happy to be here. I love the West Coast. If I knew how to drive, I would move here. But I can't, so I won't. This is, I'll be reading today, and that really was quite a memory lane worth of reviews. Wow, what a strange trip it's been, especially with Miss Kakutani, but as long as she liked the last one, I'm okay. This is a super sad true love story with a kind of scratch and sniff motif that is really working well for the under 11 age set. Also Twister for dachshunds, if you have to. So, as was mentioned in the introduction, this novel is set slightly in the future, when a completely literate America is about to fall apart. So next Tuesday is the due date. There's only one party left in the whole country. It's called the Bipartisan Party, which is a good name for a party, and it's under the leadership of Defense Secretary Rubinstein, my first Jewish strongman. There's a device called the apparat, which is worn as a pendant, and it ranks everyone's wealth, credit rating, and attractiveness. So as soon as I would walk into a bar, it'd say, "You're the 17th ugliest man in this bar, but you're the 4th best credit rating," or something like that. Everyone wears one. And the main characters are the Russian-American Lenny Abramov. He's the narrator of this section. He's approaching 40 years old, which in this society is considered finished. Anything after 20 is not good. He works for a company called Post-Human Services, which is trying to find a cure for death. Yeah, it's that funny. It's horrifying, too. It's after through the tears, I know. The troops appeared angrier and more sunburned than usual. Perhaps they had just been rotated out of Venezuela. We're fighting in Venezuela at this point. It's not going well. Beside the armored personnel carrier, a sign read, "It is forbidden to acknowledge the existence of this armored personnel carrier, the object. By reading this sign, you've denied existence of the object and implied consent." We took a cab to the corner of Washington Avenue in Myron, the most important corner of my life. I could already see my parents' brownish, half-brick, half-stucco cape, the golden mailbox out in front, the faux 19th century lamp beside it, the cheap lawn chairs stacked on the island of cement that was supposed to be the front porch, the gigantic flags of the United States and Israel billowing from 2 flagpoles. I felt a little embarrassed because I knew that Eunice's parents were much better off than mine. At the door, my mother appeared in her usual household outfit, white bra and panties. She was about to throw her arms around my neck when she noticed Eunice let out some Russian garble of amazement and retreated inside the house, leaving me, per the usual, with the visuals of her thick breasts and white little round of belly. My father, shirtless, soon took her place, also gasped at Eunice, ran his hand against his naked, muscular breast, said, "Whoa!" then hugged me. There was hair against my new dress shirt, the gray carpet of hair that my father wore with an odd touch of class, as if he were a royal in some tropical country. He kissed me on both cheeks, and I did the same, feeling the instructions, the code of Russian father-son relations. Father means I have to love him, have to listen to him, can't offend him, can't hurt him, can't bring him to task for past wrongs. He's an old man now. He's defenseless. My mother reappeared in shorts and a wife-beater. "Synochek, little son," she shouted, "look who's come to us, nash lubimets, our favorite." She shook Eunice's hand, and both of my parents swiftly evaluated her, affirmed that she was, like her predecessors, not Jewish, but quietly approved of the fact that she was thin and attractive, with a healthy black mane of hair. My mother unwrapped her own precious blonde locks from the green handkerchief that kept them safe from the American sun, and smiled prettily at Eunice. She began talking in her brave post-retirement English about how glad she was to have a potential daughter-in-law, filling in the contours of her loneliness with rapid-fire questions about my mysterious life in faraway New York. Does Lenny keep clean house? Does he vacuum? Once I come to college dormitorium, oh, awful, such smell, dead ficus tree, old cheese on table, socks hanging in window. Eunice smiled and spoke in my favor. He's very good, Miss Abram, she said. He's very clean. I looked at her with love. Somewhere beneath the bright suburban skies, I felt the presence of a .50 caliber Browning gun swiveling toward an incoming Long Island Railroad train, but here I stood, surrounded by the people who loved me. I brought Tagamet from the discount pharmacy, I said to my father, taking 5 boxes out of the bag I brought. Thank you, Malinki, little one, my father said, taking hold of his beloved drug. Peptic ulcer, he said to Eunice, pointing at the depths of his tortured stomach. My mother had already grabbed hold of the back of my head and was madly stroking my hair. So gray, she said, so old he gets, almost 40. Lyonya, what is happening to you? Too much stress? Also losing hair, oh my God. You are named Eunice, my father said. Do you know where it comes from, such name? My parents, Eunice gamely began. No, it's from the Greek, unike, meaning victorious. He laughed, happy to demonstrate that before he was forced to be a janitor in America, he had served as a quasi-intellectual and minor dandy on Moscow's Arbat Street.
With the exception of some of your students at Columbia, is there a significant other in your life?
With the exception of my students. I've dated most of them. Columbia's MFA is a very hands-on program. You have to stay on top of your students. It's a great question. Thank you. That was the best question I think of my whole California time. I'm going to bring that up at the next faculty meeting. Where are my girls? Yeah. No, I am engaged, as they say in the industry. To a woman. Yeah. She's been driving me around California because she knows how to drive. She's born in California. I don't know how to drive.
I think I opened it up. It's pretty cool. Work here.
Oh, I'm not open.
Yeah, like honestly, I've never gotten jobs before.
All right.
Yes.
Stairs at the wall. The names here are great. They're so cool. Oh, it's an Irish.
On the chair.
Thank you so much. This is such a great audience. Do you really think that we're going to get this moving away from reading? Fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Take care. Good luck.
Ну ладно, приятно.
Спасибо, очень приятно.
Всего хорошего. Приезжайте в Калифорнию жить.
Спасибо, да, я вернусь.
Ну, всего хорошего, до свидания.
Hi, can I get to sign a date? Today is 8/10, right? 11. 8/11. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. See what happens when you're in California?
See, yeah, exactly. Where am I? What's happening?